do what's in their best interest. And a lot of people haven't saved enough money for their retirement.
As some struggle to make ends meet, they're tapping into their 401k and retirement plans early, while pension plans have gone nearly extinct and fear over Social Security solvency looms. So, what are some things you can do to prepare if your retirement is still far off?
The most important thing to do is to really understand compound interest and realize that a little money now goes much farther than a lot of money later.
Mitchell Krause, founder of Capital Intelligent Associates, says disciplined and consistent savings, even if it's just a little, is critical.
There's your current self, which always wants to go and have fun and eat out and do all sorts of fun things. And there's your future self, who's going to want to do that too. But you also don't wake up one day and say, hey, if I just saved a little bit more, did a little bit more things, I'd be in a much better position now.
And for those a little closer to retirement age, it sounds simple, but Krause says,
really take the time and understand your situation. Most people don't have a budget. Most people don't know how much money they have. They don't know how far that will go in retirement. And a little bit of research can either prod you to go a little bit further or put your mind at ease.
And Krause added that, as with any sort of money planning, do the best you can to try and diversify your savings, the funds you're using, or other assets you may have that you're planning on getting some value from once you hit that retirement age. Because, of course, if life does throw you a curveball, then it won't knock out all of your retirement plans. Derek?
That's right, Michael. How are these retirement worries being addressed during the upcoming presidential election?
So Social Security, Medicare, always points of debate in elections. This presidential cycle, no different. Recently, in an interview, former President Donald Trump seeming to suggest he'd be open to making cuts to Social Security and Medicare. His campaign quickly after the fact, though, pointing out that he was clearly talking about just cutting waste, not actual entitlements. But that's something the Biden campaign jumped on pretty quick, with President Biden saying he'd block any efforts to cut Medicare or Social Security. Again, these entitlements and any potential reform to them, often points of debate during elections between politicians. It seems this presidential election is going to be no different.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to hear more of it down the road as well. Thank you, Michael. Well, we're less than 2 weeks away from tax day. Last-minute filers need to keep a few things in mind before finishing their taxes. Owner of Charles Wells Tax Service, Charles Wells, is here now to give us a look at tax season so far and to give us some reminders for anyone still filing their taxes. Let me start real quickly, Charles, with the risks of filing your taxes near tax day. What are they?
Well, you run the risk of late filing penalties as well as interest on any amount that you might owe.
Got it. What are some of the deductions and the credits that taxpayers should be considering if they're still going through and filing their taxes right now?
Well, as far as deductions go, anything business related, if you have any kind of self-employment income, so anything you spend to make money as a general rule of thumb will be deductible. As far as credits go, you have child tax credit and earned income tax credit. I feel like most people taking advantage of those credits have probably filed at this point.
Right, right. The Ohio Department of Taxation has a new website this season. Has that new website caused any problems or delays, or has everything gone pretty smooth?
I think it's gone pretty smoothly. I haven't really heard anything about it. So usually no news is good news when it comes to new websites and technology.
Absolutely. What are some of the documents that people should have handy if they're either going maybe to take their taxes to a tax professional or they're going to try to do it themselves?
Okay, well, your basic income statements are going to be your W-2s, any kind of 1099s you might have received. The most popular is going to be the 1099 NEC, which is non-employment compensation. You'll get that if you're doing a Grubhub or DoorDash, something like that. And at this point, as you're getting later into the tax season, you'll want to look for brokerage statements, 1099 interest, dividends, B for barter and exchange. And then lastly, the K ones are usually those are shareholder or partnership income. Those are usually the latest statements that you'll see.
Now, for those who can't finish their taxes before tax day, are there some extension dates that taxpayers can keep in mind?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the corporate extension date has passed. That is March 15th. But if you did take advantage of those, corporations and partnerships extend into September 15th. April 15th is the filing and extension date for individuals, and that would include sole proprietorships, and those extend until October 15th.
How do you request that extension?
It's actually quite simple. It's the form 4868. You could do it online yourself, or you could go to a tax professional, and it's automatically accepted.
What are you seeing finally in terms of refunds or people having to pay this year compared to maybe previous tax years?
I would have to say that the refunds are a lot smaller. There have been some changes with the withholding tables on paychecks. So those, when you fill out the W-4, when you get hired, that's what sets your withholding. Those are pretty much made to break you even now. So a lot of people are not receiving the big refunds that they're used to. They're either breaking even or even in a lot of cases owing a small amount when they go to file.
All right, some tough news to hear if you're still getting ready to do your taxes. Charles Wells, thank you so much for your time.
Great, thanks. Have a good day.
You too. And now Lester Holt has a look at what NBC News crews are working on for tonight.
Tonight, the uptick in avian flu cases, the risk to humans, and its potential impact on your grocery bill. Also, an NBC News follow-up, voters in one Oklahoma town decide whether to remove a local councilman over his white nationalist ties.
Well, still much more. 21 News at 5 coming up in our next half hour. Ohio's Pharmacy Board will soon have a new set of rules aiming to prevent severe understaffing. How the rules will better protect patients. Let's also now get a check of the weather with Andrew.
Thank you, Derek. After a soggy and active couple of days, we're really going to start to quiet down, but we won't dry out. We'll still deal with rain and snow. Could we see snow add up? That answer in a couple of minutes. Plus, a chilly start to your weekend, but better on Sunday. And some optimism for the eclipse. Could it be? I have that answer too in my full 7-day forecast. That's just in a few minutes on the other side of the break. Keep it here. 21 News. We'll be right back.
Want a little more weather? Check out Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm's Weather for Weather Geeks, posted every weekday evening.
We do not have a lot of time. Go, let's go, let's go.
I don't want any medical intervention.
We're taking the money. We got a victim trapped. Help me, please. We're coming.
You're sleeping with a cooperating informant. You don't just lose your job, you go to prison. Come with me.
An all-new Chicago Wednesday, tonight at NBC and Peacock.
You'll get a kick out of the crew at Kangaroo. We're metal roofing experts. We value our customers, always show up on time and provide industry-leading service. Our customers love our upfront pricing, money-back guarantee, and up to 20-year no-leak guarantee. Call Hornbeck's Kangaroo today. We hop to it.
You won't go home hungry from Carmela's. Join us for freshly prepared, family-inspired Italian favorites, always served with a smile. Carmela's Cafe and Italian Eatery, like Grandma used to make, on Western Reserve Road in Boardman.
Endless pain, low quality of life. The problem's not in your head, but just under. Misaligned neck bones can distort nerve signals. Upper cervical chiropractors realign them, unlocking your body's natural healing power. Life is better when you're aligned.
Let's play Dare to Compare! My signature hybrid mattress
versus this leading brand name hybrid mattress. Both combine types of memory foam with inner spring coils.
But my signature is just $9.99. Theirs is a whopping $21.99. My signature with the Power Bob Elite base still costs less than that.
Sure, they're not exactly the same, but is theirs worth so much more?
When the looks you love go for less, there's only one thing to say.
Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
April is Subaru Loves the Earth Month at Boardman Subaru.
This month, we'll be donating $25 to plant a tree in Mill Creek Park for every vehicle purchased.
Test drive the all-electric 2024 Solterra, complete with legendary Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive and 8.3 inches of ground clearance.
Or the 2024 Subaru Forester, with the best resale value in its class for 4 years running, according to Kelley Blue Book.
So visit our award-winning team at Boardman Subaru,
just south of Route 224 on South Avenue.
You'll get a kick out of our responsive quality service at Kangaroo. We value our customers. We always show up on time and provide industry-leading service. Feel secure with our money-back guarantee, upfront pricing, and up to 20-year no-leak guarantee. Call Hornbeck's Kangaroo today. We hop to it.
21 News is brought to you by Hornbeck Kangaroo. We hop to it.
Austintown police are working to find out who riddled a township duplex with bullets earlier this morning. Leslie Huff has more on what police are looking into.
Around 2 a.m., multiple gunshots were fired at a home on the 3600 block of Kirk Road in Austintown. Police say there were 5 people inside, including one minor, and none of them were injured. According to police, it appears that the shots came in from the backyard of the house, and they believe that this was a targeted shooting. Tonight on 21 News at 6, we'll hear from one witness who saw it all happen. With more local news, I'm Leslie Huff.
An Austintown man is facing charges in connection with a hit-and-run crash that killed a woman. 49-year-old James Tahura is charged with reckless homicide and tampering with evidence. Those charges stem from a crash on March 11th that claimed the life of 66-year-old Linda Adams. She had been out walking with her dog along Lancaster Drive when she was hit. Police had been looking for the suspect that hit Adams because he allegedly left the scene. The truck that Stahura was allegedly driving at the time of the incident was caught on a Ring doorbell camera. Sharon police have identified a suspect believed to be connected to a shooting that injured a man. Police are looking for 18-year-old Julian Jackson Jr. The shooting happened shortly after midnight on Tuesday on North Water Avenue. Police found a victim with multiple gunshot wounds and 35 shell casings in a nearby parking lot. Investigators also found a cell phone that was then traced back to Jackson. A warrant's been issued for his arrest for attempted homicide and aggravated assault. All police departments in Mahoning County now have another way to protect themselves from an active shooter. Gina Cadigan has more on what the commissioner's ARP money has funded for officers.
Every police department in Mahoning County now has one ballistic shield. These were all bought with $250,000 of the Mahoning County Commissioner's ARP funds. They were requested by the commander of the Youngstown State Police Academy. He said during the Uvalde, Texas school shooting, he was bothered when he saw police officers just standing around waiting for the SWAT team that had these shields to get to the school, and he didn't want that situation to ever happen in Mahoning County. Coming up tonight on 21 News at 6 here, what else this money will go towards here at YSU. With more local news, I'm Gina Cadigan.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump claimed wins in another round of primaries on Tuesday. Although they've already secured their nominations, both teams are paying close attention to what voters have to say, especially in crucial battleground states like Wisconsin. CNN's Julia Benbrook reports.
Almost any path to victory will run through several swing states, including Wisconsin. Back in 2016, former President Donald Trump secured a win there by fewer than 23,000 votes. And then in 2020, President Joe Biden won by fewer than 21,000 votes.
I came to office determined to uphold the duty that gets us through one of the toughest periods in our nation's history. And we have.
Wisconsin primary voters are now sending both Biden and Trump a message. More than 47,000 Wisconsin Democrats, that's roughly 8% of those who went to the polls, marked uninstructed at the ballot box, largely in protest of Biden's handling of the war in Gaza.
If they won't listen to our calls or our emails or our letters, then they better listen to our votes instead.
Trump also faced pushback as he continues to try and reach more moderate voters.
A vote for Trump is a vote to save Wisconsin and is a vote to save your country.
In Wisconsin, more than 76,000 Republicans, that's roughly 13% of those who voted, cast their ballots for his former primary opponent, Nikki Haley. Another former opponent, Ron DeSantis, and uninstructed brought in about 30,000 votes combined. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
A new poll found that most Americans want the Supreme Court to reject Donald Trump's immunity claims. According to the Marquette Law School survey, 62% of respondents opposed granting former presidents immunity, compared with 20% who support the idea. This poll comes as the justices prepare to hear arguments in the special counsel's election interference case. Trump has argued that his efforts to overturn the 2020 election results were part of his official capacity as president. Another twist in Truth Social's public offering, owner Trump Media and Technology Group is suing two of its co-founders to eliminate their stakes in the company. The lawsuit alleges reckless and wasteful decisions when the company was set up. Trump Media is asking the court to force them to return the 8.6 million shares they were set to receive. At Tuesday's closing price, that would have been worth $444 million. In more local news, Youngstown State University President Bill Johnson gave his first address to the Rotary Club of Youngstown. He gave updates about the university and how he's hoping to move it forward to make the entire Youngstown community better. Some of the key ideas that Johnson says his administration is working on includes reforming workforce education, a new first-generation college enrollment program, and plans to update the Kilcawley Center at the heart of the university. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. To raise awareness, Trumbull County Children's Services is back with their 19th annual Pinwheels for Prevention campaign. The display has nearly 1,200 pinwheels, each representing one report of child abuse in Trumbull County in the past year. They also represent the adults who became an advocate for a child by reporting suspected abuse or neglect.
It brings awareness, which is half of prevention, is making people aware that abuse and neglect of children is still very much a problem. And without the community making those reports, because each pinwheel represents a report, but it also represents an individual who stepped up and made that report.
All calls to Children's Services are also 100% confidential and play a huge role in keeping kids safe. The Ohio Department of Agriculture is investigating reports that a cow herd in the state tested positive for bird flu. On March 8th, a dairy operation in Wood County acquired cows from Texas, where bird flu was later detected. Cases among cattle herds have since been confirmed in Texas, Kansas, Idaho, New Mexico, and Michigan. The herd of livestock in Ohio started showing symptoms late last month. The FDA and CDC say there are no concerns with commercially pasteurized dairy products, and bird flu risk to the general public remains low. Ticks can transmit dangerous diseases to humans. That's why it's important to try and avoid them. But these creatures are already out earlier than usual. Mandy Gaither has more on what to expect for the 2024 tick season and how to stay protected.
In the U.S., tick season usually peaks between May and July and then again in the fall. But it's April and the creatures are already out.
They are hungry, so they are looking for their first meal of the year, and they do pose that risk of transmitting infection.
Dr. Bobby Pritt with Mayo Clinic says you can help prevent tick bites. Check your body often, especially after being outdoors. Wear long sleeves and pants and tuck those pants into socks, giving ticks less skin they can bite. And make sure to wear bug spray.
Usually we look for tick repellents that have at least 30% DEET, but there are other chemicals, picaridin, is a very good repellent.
If you do get bitten, Pritt says to not panic. Remove the tick as quickly as possible.
The best way to do that is with tweezers that you can use close to the skin, as close as possible. Grasp the head of the tick as it's going into the skin and just pull it out in a slow, continuous motion, taking care to not squeeze the tick or breaking off the mouth parts if you can help it.
Pritt says if you live in an area where Lyme disease is present and find a swollen tick attached to your skin, consider seeing a doctor, especially if it's been attached for 36 hours or more.
Your doctor can prescribe antibiotics to prevent Lyme disease.
And be aware of the symptoms of Lyme disease, including fever, body aches and pains, upset stomach, severe headache, and fatigue. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, some good news here. The fourth largest Powerball jackpot's up for grabs tonight. The drawing's worth an estimated $1.09 billion. If you have the winning ticket and choose the cash option, you'll end up with right around $527 million. Of course, you can catch those winning numbers right here on 21 News at 11. All right, let's switch gears and talk weather now with Andrew. Are we ever going to turn off this rain faucet?
The good news is we start to transition from a heavy rain to kind of just a nuisance rain and even a few snowflakes here as we try to get this area of low pressure out of here. But it was a very soggy and active 48 hours. Saw earlier in our broadcast that damage at Mill Creek Park, and you might be looking out your window, might still have some standing water in your yard. Unfortunately, maybe some water damage in your home. It's been a soggy period with areas in our southern viewing area picking up anywhere from 3 to maybe even 4 inches of rain. Out there in Youngstown right now as the sun is getting ready to set here in a couple of hours. More clouds than sunshine for sure. Temperature-wise, we're right now peaking as far as our daytime temperatures are concerned. Official high temperatures at the airport will come in into the upper 50s, but that occurred before sunrise. So temperatures are now at the warmest they've been all during the daylight hours in the upper 40s. That wind, though, is picking up out of the southwest up to 14 miles per hour now. And overall, we'll continue to reintroduce the chance for showers back into our forecast moving forward into the evening. So a couple of showers off to the west of us. Look how scattered everything is across the Buckeye State, all thanks to this area of low pressure, the surface low that's continuing to pivot across the Great Lakes. As this moves up towards the northeast, a upper level low will stay with us, and that's what's going to drive all that moisture, that rain, and even some snowflakes move through the area as we head over the next 48 hours. Over the next 4 hours, though, expect temperatures to stay in the 40s, that wind to pick up from time to time, and we'll reintroduce shower chances moving forward into the evening. Temperatures overall into tonight, they'll make their way to the mid-30s, and it's not going to be until early tomorrow morning that you can expect maybe a few snowflakes here and there. As we go throughout our Thursday morning, a few flurries will be around, transitioning over to a rain and snow mix later into the morning and early into the afternoon. Rain and snow showers will stay likely throughout much of the afternoon and into the evening. Temperatures tomorrow only peaking in the low 40s. It'll get a little cooler on Friday, only to about 41 for a high temperature on Friday. And once again, we start off with a few flurries, those snowflakes continuing throughout the morning, transitioning yet again to a rain and snow mix as we head later into the afternoon and into the evening, finally catching a break as we head late into Friday night and early into Saturday morning. But your weekend's going to start off a little chilly in the upper 40s. Here's the latest eclipse forecast. The numbers for temperatures look pretty good in the low 60s. We did keep a conservative chance for a shower in there, Derek, but I do think it's going to be enough break in the cloud cover that it'll still be an optimistic forecast as far as a viewing is concerned. That shower chance might go away. It's a low-end shower chance. Could also just see a shower passing through in the morning. So that's kind of a trend we're keeping a very close eye on. The good news is we don't want low clouds, and we're not going to see that as we head into the 8th. So I think a couple of low clouds might be around, but more so maybe a high cloud variety, which is, of course, the thinnest type of cloud, which would make for more of the optimal viewing.
I mean, yeah, we're not going to get a no cloud day on Monday, but as long as it stays pretty calm, I mean, you're still going to see a pretty good sight.
I think there's still a chance that we see actually some breaks in the cloud cover leading into the afternoon. So not going to be downright sunny throughout the entire day, but things are more so looking up than down. So I'm optimistic.
After the start of the weather we've had in April, we're due for some good news on Monday, right?
I said this a couple of weeks ago. I don't care if it snowed for 2 weeks leading up to the eclipse, as long as April 8th was nice. So
exactly. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Andrew. We'll be right back with more 21 News at 5 after this.
This Storm Tracker Storm Cam is brought to you by Flynn's Tire and Auto Service. For the best deals on tires, shop online at flynnstire.com.
Tonight on 21 News, the man accused of hitting a woman in Austintown with his truck and then driving off makes an appearance in court. We're learning about the charges against him and how authorities say they were able to track him down. Gunshots ring out in Austintown, hitting a home. We're speaking with a witness about what he saw during last night's shooting, tonight at 6.
Outdoor living starts now at Petiti Garden Centers. Shop our new spring furniture collections and gas fire tables at 40% off. Plus, take advantage of free setup and delivery. Petiti's, we're locally grown and family owned since 1971.
Shop Charm House Decor's curated items for spring and summer and furniture for every style.
Every day, 12 Ohioans die of a drug overdose.
And some of the most dangerous drugs are the ones brought here illegally.
It's Sherrod Brown who sponsored the law signed by President Trump to crack down on illegal drugs being smuggled across the border.
And now Sherrod's working to punish the Chinese companies and Mexican cartels profiting off of fentanyl.
Sherrod Brown has always stood up for us.
He's fighting to keep our communities safe.
I'm Sherrod Brown, and I approve this message.
Let Landis Floors and Design Center and Mohawk give your home a new look this year.
Looking to save on your internet bill? Spectrum has designed affordable internet offers just for you.
You came to the right place. Spectrum has an affordable internet offer for eligible families. And you could save a ton with the Spectrum Internet 2-year price guarantee.
Switch to Spectrum Internet starting at $29.99 a month and a 2-year price guarantee with no contracts. And get a 1-year trial of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited risk-free with the fastest wireless speeds. Call 1-833-563-3020.
Any data restrictions? Our kids are heavy gamers.
Spectrum has no data caps, and that means they can game all they want. Plus, Spectrum delivers the most reliable internet speeds.
Is it secure?
Yes, you get advanced Wi-Fi with enhanced security, automatically protecting you from online threats.
Switch to Spectrum Internet starting at $29.99 a month and a 2-year price guarantee with no contracts. And get a 1-year trial of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited risk-free with the fastest wireless speeds. Call 1-833-563-3020 or scan to call now.
Ready to switch?
Sign us up.
It's time to wake up your lawn with Petiti Garden Centers. Right now, pick up your Scott's 4-Step Lawn Food Program at Petiti's and receive a free $20 Petiti gift card. Petiti's, we're locally grown and family-owned since 1971.
21 News is brought to you by Dean's Outdoor Power Equipment.
Since 1916, Gravely has been designed, engineered, and made right here in the USA. Whether you prefer gas or electric, every Gravely has been forged with the commercial landscaper in mind. So they're not only built to last, but to also keep you riding comfortably from dawn to dusk. So ask yourself, are you ready to graduate to a Gravely? Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Don't miss the Gravely Open House Savings Event at Dean's Outdoor Power Equipment in Niles.
Laws aiming to stop the staff shortage of pharmacists around the country will take effect in May. The new rules were added after CVS was ordered to pay $1.5 million in fines because of a number of issues found by inspectors. The Director of Policy and Communications at the State of Ohio Board of Pharmacy, Cameron McNamee, is joining us to explain the new laws. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Cameron, what are the new laws that will take effect next month?
Sure. So the new rules take effect May 1st, and essentially they're intended to ensure better staffed pharmacies. They cover a number of different areas. So, for example, it requires mandatory rest breaks for personnel. It requires a process for pharmacy personnel to express staffing shortages that the pharmacies have to respond to within 14 days. It also sets a threshold of 3 business days for any prescription to be processed and dispensed by a pharmacy. We noticed a lot, particularly with those CVS cases, we had pharmacies that were weeks, sometimes several weeks behind. We want to make sure that situation doesn't happen again. And we also put some restrictions on the use of quotas, particularly around ancillary services such as vaccines. In our review of survey data, in our discussions with stakeholders, we found that a lot of times pharmacists were being pulled in so many different directions that it was really causing a concern of patient safety. So we wanted to make sure that pharmacies weren't forcing pharmacists to offer, more services than they're capable of providing in a safe and effective manner. So it's really a number of different, it's about 6 rules that all address different aspects of pharmacists' working conditions in an effort to ensure that patients are getting their medications in a safe and timely manner.
Is this a culmination of years in the making here, or is this something that has just popped up within, say, the last year or so?
I think this is something that we were concerned about pre-COVID. In fact, we were getting a lot of complaints regarding, trying to do more with less. And I think COVID really exacerbated the underlying issue. So we actually implemented a survey in 2020 of our pharmacists, and the results weren't great. And so we knew we had to do something. And so we started putting together a working group full of stakeholders from retail, from independent pharmacies, from hospital pharmacies, long-term care. And we got them all around the table, and they were tasked with putting together some recommendations for the board to consider. And these are the rules that resulted from that collaborative process.
And then finally, Cameron, how quickly do you think that these rules will help shore up the staffing shortages and errors in prescriptions?
So we're fortunate enough to have a very large inspection team here at the Board of Pharmacy, unlike some other boards of pharmacy around the country. And so last year, I think we conducted over 2,000 inspections. And so we intend to implement these rules and inspect to these rules starting May 1st. We expect compliance with these rules. We've also put in some verbiage in the rules that prevents retaliation for filing a complaint with the board if you feel like your pharmacy is in an unsafe working environment. And so we put some employee protections in there too, so that it's not only us correcting them upon inspection, but also our licensees feeling comfortable submitting a complaint to us for us to investigate.
All right, Cameron McNamee, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Great, thank you so much.
And here's a look at the rest of your evening network lineup after nightly news. At 8 o'clock, it's Chicago Med, followed by Chicago Fire at 9, and then Chicago PD at 10. Stay tuned as always for the latest local updates on 21 News at 11.
Do you have a news tip you want to share? Click on the 21 News app, go to settings, and send us a news tip. It's that easy.
No more leaving things on set.
What do you say we get the band back together?
We need to solve this before there's another victim.
You ever work a serial killer case?
You're surrounded, buddy.
Don't.
Okay, you can drive more often.
Knew you'd come around.
Walker, Texas Ranger, you're under arrest.
Walker, season premiere tonight at 8/7 Central. Stream free tomorrow on the CW.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. If you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court. And remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
Looking to save on your internet bill? Spectrum has designed affordable internet offers just for you.
You came to the right place. Spectrum has an affordable internet offer for eligible families, and you could save a ton with Spectrum Internet 2-year price guarantee.
Switch to Spectrum Internet starting at $29.99 a month and a 2-year price guarantee with no contracts. And get a 1-year trial of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited risk-free with the fastest wireless speeds. Call 1-833-563-2782 or scan to call now.
Ready to switch?
Sign us up.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
Oaks Roofing and Siding specializes in high-quality roofing and siding services. Our dedicated team of professionals work with you from start to finish. We generate an accurate 3D rendering of your home, ready for your personalized touch.
With 0% financing for 12 months and materials that are built to last, Oaks has been trusted by thousands of homeowners for over 20 years. Call today for a free estimate, and we'll come to you. Oaks Roofing and Siding. Quality you can trust.
For more than 30 years, I've been helping people just like you who are hurt in motor vehicle accidents and overwhelmed by the red tape required to get the money you deserve.
Filing a claim feels intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. Call Elizabeth Bernard.
This portion of 21 News is brought to you by attorney Elizabeth Bernard.
With millions traveling to see the total solar eclipse, the Ohio Department of Transportation is taking some extra precautions to make sure workers are safe. ODOT says that they're treating the event like any other major holiday as a way to help protect both road workers and drivers. Joining us now to talk about how ODOT's preparing for the total solar eclipse is Press Secretary Matt Bruning. Matt, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So what are some of the risks large events like the eclipse bring to ODOT crews?
Well, anytime you have more people on the road, you're certainly going to have a higher risk of something occurring. whether that's a crash, whether that's one of our crews getting hit. So certainly with knowing that we're going to have a lot more people on the road for the eclipse, it's certainly something that we have in mind. We also know that unlike these major travel holidays like Thanksgiving and the 4th of July and Memorial Day, where we don't have crews out on the road, this is a situation where we're going to have more people on the road, and we're going to have all our crews on the road to help with traffic control. So certainly a concern is keeping our people safe. So we're reminding people, move over, slow down, pay attention to our crews.
We mentioned that you're treating this event like another holiday. What are some of the precautions that are being put in place?
So when I say that, what we normally do around a major travel holiday like those that I listed is we try to reduce the size of work zones as much as possible to get that extra low level of traffic through our highway system. We suspend maintenance work, so things like ditching, tree trimming, those kinds of operations we won't be doing because we don't want to restrict traffic. So those are the kinds of things we'll be doing. But again, unlike a major travel holiday, we will have all of our crews out on the road to assist motorists. And that's what I guess makes it a little different.
Right. Any road projects that'll be put on hold because of the eclipse?
So we'll try to put everything on hold, but there are some locations around the state of Ohio where it just simply can't, we simply cannot move those barricades. And so a couple of those locations that you might find would be around the Akron area on I-77, I-76, State Route 8. We've also got a couple of projects on I-75 in the the Dayton and the Cincinnati area, 475 in Toledo, and a couple of projects on I-70 down in the Columbus area and Zanesville. So those are areas that if anybody's traveling through those areas, that's where you might see some delays because of construction, because we just can't reduce the size of those work zones.
ODOT released a total eclipse traffic forecasting map. Who does that map help?
So we're trying to help our partners in the emergency management agencies across the state, also the Ohio State Highway Patrol and other law enforcement. It was really a way to help forecast where we think the greatest demand on the road system is going to be, so that those entities can plan on where they want to put their resources, best deploy those resources for traffic control purposes. Or maybe it's a fire department that wants to pre-stage some of their equipment so that they can cut down response time in anticipation of greater congestion around the area. So those are the kind of things we're trying to help.
And finally, Matt, your message to drivers, I know you mentioned it before, slow down, move over. What's your message to those drivers coming up on Monday?
Well, yeah, that for certainly our crews, but I think overall it's, plan, prepare, and be patient. Those are the three things we really need people to do in addition to paying attention and moving over and slowing down for crews, because we know that we're going to see long traffic delays, especially after the eclipse. And so we need people to be prepared for that. Plan ahead. Make sure you've topped off your gas tank so you've got plenty of fuel. You're not running out of gas and stopping traffic. And of course, be patient. It's going to take a lot longer to travel after the eclipse, especially because everyone's going to try to leave at the same time. So if you can stay a little later to wherever you're viewing the eclipse, that will only help the situation.
Absolutely. We appreciate the information. Great as always. Thank you, Matt.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And 21 News will host a special report the day of the total solar eclipse, Monday, April 8th from 2:30 to 3:30. We'll have team coverage from watch parties across the valley and within the path of totality. You can also check out WFMJ.com and the 21 News app for more special coverage. It's all under the Eclipse tab. Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. You can always watch our interviews on the 21 News app and make sure that you give us a follow on social media. 21 News at 6 p.m. alongside Madison Tromler starts right now.
Good Wednesday evening, everyone. We've had too much rain to open the month of April. We'll have a full recap of rain totals and how high our rivers are coming up shortly. In the meantime, our weather headlines for the next couple of days. Not great for the next couple of days. Spotty rain showers, even a few snowflakes in the mix for Thursday and for Friday. It'll stay cold and raw through the end of the week. Improving weekend weather, and we think there'll be a mix of sun and clouds for the total solar eclipse coming up on Monday. 21 News at 6 starts right now.
Coming up on 21 News, days of rain across the valley caused some major flooding and road closures. We'll show you some of the hardest hit areas.
A suspect in a hit and run that killed an Austintown woman last month appears in court. What he's charged with and how police are working to sort through evidence to find out exactly what happened.
Several people are safe after an Austintown home is riddled with bullets overnight. Where police are in the investigation as we speak with a neighbor on what they heard.
And later, the importance of active shooter shields in the event of a threat. Why law enforcement in Mahoning County say this equipment was crucially needed.
The Valley's watchdog station. This is 21 News, 6 p.m.
Good evening, and thanks for staying with 21 News. Over the last 2 days, excessive rainfall has led to widespread flooding problems all across the valley.
Yeah, the flooding even damaging parts of Mill Creek Park. Parts of the park were closed as the rain just continued to come down. You can see trees blocking some roads and walking paths, the excess water rushing down the river. We found crews there working to try and get that damage under control.
The torrential rain also caused this landslide to close down part of State Route 39 in Columbiana County. This is near the intersection of Putnam Street and East Liverpool. The road is still down to one lane as crews work to fix it.
In Trumbull County, high water closed down part of Route 46 between Niles and Weathersfield Township. Barricades were put up along the road between Salt Springs Road and McKees Lane to try and keep the water from Meander Creek at bay. The road is still closed at this hour.
And Route 165 in Green Township is back open after you can see here a car became submerged in the floodwaters yesterday. This is between Beaver Creek and Route 62. And just a reminder to never drive through the floodwaters. It can be impossible to know just how deep the water is.
And flood warnings are still out for a couple of our area's major rivers.
So how high are the rivers running and how much rain have we picked up? We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm. Hi, Eric.
Well, we picked up a few weeks worth of rain just in the last 48 hours or so. Some pretty impressive rainfall totals from rain gauges across the valley, generally more than 2 inches. In fact, 3-inch plus amounts down in southern Columbiana County, down around East Liverpool, and heading over towards Beaver County and Lawrence County in PA as well. We mentioned all those rivers and streams are running high. I think we're reaching our crest right about now on the Mahoning River from Warren all the way down to Youngstown. Youngstown in particular is in that minor flood stage at a little over 14 feet. The Ohio River is running high from East Liverpool to Wellsville as well. This will probably crest tomorrow. It's going to run high all night, the crest tomorrow, and then the river will recede after that. As far as additional rainfall, not looking at anything all that heavy, but yes, some showers are trying to return this evening, and showers will come and go overnight into tomorrow. It's kind of a wintry pattern we're getting into for the next couple of days with some snowflakes back in the forecast for both Thursday and Friday as well.
All right, we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, Eric. Our other top story tonight, an Austintown man is facing felony charges, accused of trying to conceal evidence after a hit-and-run crash caused the death of an Austintown woman.
Yeah, 66-year-old Linda Adams was walking her dog when she was hit back in March.
After the suspect drove away, I'm told detectives were able to piece together answers using broken fragments of damage left behind, home security footage, and help of the Ohio BMV. 49-year-old James Stahura appeared in court Wednesday. Stahura faces charges including reckless homicide and leaving the scene of an accident after Linda Adams of Austintown was hit and killed while walking down her street with her partner on March 11th. Austintown Sergeant Chirilla says after arriving on scene, he found broken pieces of plastic from a headlight showing a vehicle part ID number on it. With that information, along with this neighbor's security footage, police were able to verify the alleged truck involved.
So it just kind of correlated that we have the right part, the right part number with the right model year compared to the video. So that kind of linked that one together. And then that following morning, we reached out to an officer that works for the Ohio BMV, and they're able to run through their database a better search than we're able to. So once I gave him those parameters, he's able to search the BMV's record and was able to come up with the license plate of a vehicle that we should investigate, which turned around to be to be this one.
Chirilla says Stahura's alleged truck happened to be the only one in the area that matched up and just so happened to be registered to an address less than half a mile from where the hit skip happened. From there, detectives obtained additional evidence and tips regarding Stahura's whereabouts before the incident occurred. Police also heard from an employee of Stahura's who informed them where the alleged truck was in a nearby garage. Police believe Stahura attempted to conceal his truck and the damage from the incident. Now, the judge set a $20,000 10% cash assured bond for Stahura. His next court appearance is later this month.
The suspect in a chase that began in Austintown and ended with a crash at a Niles car dealership pled not guilty to his charges. We're seeing for the first time body cam video from Niles PD that shows the aftermath of the incident, which happened about a week ago. 39-year-old Corey Heinzelman is facing charges, including OVI, hit skip, and driving with a suspended license. He's accused of crashing into the car lot, hitting a number of different vehicles and causing thousands of dollars in damages. A duplex in Austintown is riddled with gunshots while several people were inside the home.
Now, police say no one was hurt and their investigation is just getting started.
Leslie Huff spoke to a witness who was wide awake when the shooting started. Good evening, Leslie.
Derek and Madison, good evening. The witness said he was lying in bed watching TV when he heard rounds of gunfire erupting in his neighborhood. People living near this duplex on Kirk Road heard several gunshots early Wednesday morning.
I heard gunshots going off like rounds, open fire gunshots, and at first I thought it was firecrackers.
5 people, including a child, were inside when police arrived on the scene around 2 a.m. No one was hit by gunfire in the home, and police say the shots came from the backyard. Bullets were found in the living room, dining room, and the kitchen of the duplex. Some bullets were even found in the unit next door. I spoke with a neighbor who doesn't want to be identified, and he told me that in the 5 years he's lived in the neighborhood, nothing like this has ever happened.
My heart was racing so bad, like I said, that we don't get that activity.
Austintown police believe this was a targeted shooting. Police asked those in the home if there was anyone who would want to harm them. A woman in the house said this shooting may have stemmed from an incident that involved her son at Cheney High School. Witnesses say they saw a silver car speed off after the shooting spree.
Within like 60 seconds of hearing the last shot go off, the car sped off. I didn't see anybody on foot.
Police say they have some potential suspects as their investigation continues. With more local news, I'm Leslie Huff.
A nursing home in Newcastle is officially shut down after several violations were reported. The Pennsylvania Department of Human Services sent a letter to Carriage Manor on Elwood Road saying that its license would not be renewed. That's because the agency says there were several allegations of abuse and neglect, lack of CPR training for staff, and furniture and equipment violations. A second letter was sent ordering the facility to cease operations or further action would be taken.
The aftermath of last year's fiery train derailment in East Palestine does not qualify as a public health emergency. That's according to federal leaders who say the widespread health problems and claims of chemical exposure were not documented. The Associated Press, in an exclusive report, says the EPA never approved that designation after the Norfolk Southern derailment. That disaster forced the evacuation of half of the town and generated fear about the possible long-term health effects due to the chemicals that spilled and burned.
This morning, the Youngstown Board of Control approved using more than $1 million of ARP money for an all-inclusive playground. Chris Serenelli spoke with the city council member who's opposed to this project in her ward, and she wants that money revoked. Good evening, Chris.
Derek, good evening. 7th Ward Councilwoman Amber White is telling me that she's simply putting the residents in her ward and their concerns first. She says that she and others in her ward have been left in the dark as to the logistical and financial aspects about this proposed project. Just this morning, the Youngstown Board of Control called that emergency meeting to enter into a fiscal agreement with the Youngstown Foundation to go ahead and build this park. It would be an all-inclusive park, and that would mean that people with both sensory conditions like autism and those with physical disabilities could use and enjoy it. The proposed location, which I'm just told they are pretty well set on, would be on the Youngstown south side. It would be IP Park on the south side near I-680 and Midlothian Boulevard, a very high traffic area, lots of noise there. Now, this marks White's second time trying to get this ARP money repealed for this. She says folks in her ward still do not know exactly how much this facility will cost. I pressed the Parks and Rec director on that cost, could not get a direct answer from him yet. And they're also saying that not enough research went into determining this location. Now, Councilwoman White says in the future she wants to see see more transparency about these kinds of things, but there is a little bit of a silver lining, as she calls it, that the Youngstown Foundation will apparently be involved in this. I'll have reaction coming up tonight at 11. Live in Youngstown with more local news, I'm Chris Serinelli.
All right, thanks, Chris. Armed and at the ready. Next on 21 News at 6, we'll show you the new equipment Mahoning County Police Departments were given in the event of an active shooter situation.
Plus, pinwheels are popping up across the Mahoning Valley this month. We'll explain what they represent and how they're raising awareness for an important cause.
First, though, stocks closed mostly higher as Wall Street steadied itself following its worst day in weeks. The Dow dropped 43 points. The Nasdaq gained 37.
Closed captioning is made possible by Window World. For windows, doors, or siding, call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW.
Good news! I just got off the phone with my boss, and if you sign up right now, I can give you our super special discount. That's the buy one, get one. That's the first-time buyer offer. I'll even throw in a nice guy discount for you. But you got to do it right this instant, because a once-in-a-lifetime deal like this will be, poof, gone forever.
We do things differently. The Window World experience is better than BOGO, saving you time and money.
Not only do we stand behind our windows,
we stand on them.
Call A to Z for all your plumbing and drain needs.
Want to watch some Possum hockey? Bring your pup to the rink and cheer on the Youngstown Phantoms at our Pucks and Paws night, Saturday, April 6th at 7:05 p.m. Call 33-07477825 to purchase tickets.
Tired of the crap? Call the Turd Bandit or message on Facebook.
Shop Charm House Decor's curated items for spring and summer and furniture for every style.
Every day, 12 Ohioans die of a drug overdose.
And some of the most dangerous drugs are the ones brought here illegally.
It's Sherrod Brown who sponsored the law signed by President Trump to crack down on illegal drugs being smuggled across the border.
And now Sherrod's working to punish the Chinese companies and Mexican cartels profiting off of fentanyl.
Sherrod Brown has always stood up for us.
He's fighting to keep our communities safe.
I'm Sherrod Brown, and I approve this message.
From comfortable spaces to areas of exploration, from cooking classes to story times to teen book club, from creating your next project in the DIY space to jamming out in the makerspace, from meeting rooms, study rooms, and event spaces to tracing your family history or discovering your next career, from ukuleles to mobile hotspots to books. Whatever you're looking for, find it at the Public Library of Youngstown and Mahoning County.
Make your first move with battery power made by Steel. Right now, save $50 on the FSA 57 battery trimmer set and buy an extra battery to double your warranty. Real Steel. Find yours.
Look your best with the latest technology from Lombardi Dental.
When you see Dr. Dom, you work with him and he is in your corner the whole time.
Our accurate cosmetic treatment will give you a full mouth makeover in as little as 24 hours.
The passion that he has for this, it's what he loves to do. I mean, it's unbelievable. The other doctors, I guess, saw the mess that I had in my mouth. When I saw Dr. Dom, he immediately saw this.
Lombardi Dental. Call or visit us today at lombardismiles.com.
All police departments in Mahoning County now have a new way to protect themselves from an active shooter. A ballistic shield can protect an officer's body from shots during an open fire situation. Gina Cadigan has more on why officers in our area felt this equipment was crucial. Hi, Gina.
Madison, the commander of the Youngstown State University Police Academy wanted these shields after the Uvalde, Texas school shooting. Departments will use these and some training, all funded by ARP money, to prepare themselves if an active shooter situation ever happens in the future.
Let's face it, over the last 3 or 4 years, law enforcement has been basically under attack.
Police departments in Mahoning County are now equipped with one more line of defense against shooters. Mahoning County commissioners used ARP funds to buy each department one ballistic shield.
This might to a lot of people seem like a small thing, but it's really not. It's for protecting those who protect us.
In an active shooter situation, The shields will be used by the first officer on scene when entering a building.
They're not going to be sure of what's in there, how dangerous it is. We want to be able to give them the ultimate amount of protection.
The idea to buy the shields came after the Uvalde, Texas school shooting, where 19 students and 2 teachers were killed.
And I watched the officers put on hold in a hallway and never made entry. And the active shooting continued, and it really bothered the hell out of me.
With the shields, departments in Mahoning County won't have to wait for other personnel like the SWAT team to get to the scene to have protection to enter a building with a shooter, all to prepare for any situation that could come up in schools or at workplaces when officers would have to react in split seconds to save lives. With more local news, I'm Gina Cadigan.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and to raise awareness, Trumbull County Children's Services is kicking off its annual Pinwheels for Prevention campaign. The display has more than 1,100 pinwheels, each representing one report of child abuse in Trumbull County in 2023. They also represent the adults who became an advocate for a child by reporting suspected abuse or neglect. We asked what kind of symptoms you should look out for if you believe a child is in danger.
Usually you see withdrawn children, children whose behavior changes significantly over a period of time because they're battling the trauma of whatever they've experienced.
All calls to Children's Services are 100% confidential and play a huge role in keeping kids safe. After only about a year in business, Downtown 124 in Warren is closing its doors. Owners say the rising costs across the board in the restaurant industry has led to this decision. The restaurant specialized in cocktails and offered a variety of beers and wines. We're still working to find out when it will close.
Well, we are less than a week away from the total solar eclipse, and 21 News will host a special report on Monday, April 8th. From 2:30 to 3:30, we will have team coverage from the watch parties all around the valley and within the path of totality. You can also check out WFMJ.com and the 21 News app for more special coverage. That's right under the Eclipse tab. All right, hopefully we do see some nice weather. It's really cleared up today, but we have seen lots of rain and some flooding problems across the valley. Eric's next to tell us about any other weather systems we can expect. Don't go away.
This Storm Tracker Storm Cam is brought to you by Flynn's Tire and Auto Service. For the best deals on tires, shop online at flynnstire.com. For more information on any of the stories you've seen in this newscast, go to WFMJ.com.
We do not have a lot of time. Go, let's go, let's go.
I don't want any medical intervention.
We're taking the money. We got a victim trapped. Help me, please. We're coming.
You're sleeping with a cooperating informant. You don't just lose your job, you go to prison. Come with me.
An all-new Chicago Wednesday, tonight at NBC and Peacock.
A roof replacement can cost you $15,000, $20,000 or even more. But 9 out of 10 roofs don't need replaced. They can be rejuvenated with Roof Max for just a fraction of the cost.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington. I'm an original shark from the hit television show Shark Tank. When it comes to Roof Max, I'm all in. When I saw that Roof Max could extend the life of your roof by years, I decided to invest in the company.
Don't replace, rejuvenate with Roof Max.
Here, 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 even here, never here. Phones down. It's the law. Fines start at $150. Here, 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 even here, never here. Phones down. It's the law. Fines start at $150.
There'll come a day when you will need a lawyer.
Personal injury, employment discrimination.
When you do, you want a law firm that is right where you are.
Workers' compensation.
At Green Haynes Scambatti, we aren't an out-of-town firm. We live here, we work here, and we are here to represent you. Haynes Scambatti, local lawyers who care.
Spring is sprung and savings are in full bloom. Visit Menards Garden Center for everything you need to get your garden growing. Choose from hundreds of beautiful, colorful flowers, lush trees and shrubs, and everything in between. Menards Garden Center is back in bloom. Stop in today to get your garden on. Check out these fresh deals happening now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
You're in the driver's seat. You choose what road to take. But soon you'll be taking a back seat to big government because EPA regulators just banned most new gas-powered cars. They've made it clear it's their way or the highway, even if electric vehicles aren't right for you or your family. Call the United States Senate. Tell them to stop the car ban before it's too late. Don'tBanOurCars.com. Paid for by American Fuel and Petrochemical Manufacturers.
21 News is brought to you by CVS Siding and Windows.
At CVS, we have performed over 18,000 vinyl siding projects over the last 44 years, resulting in these spectacular financing opportunities. This transformation for as little as $100 per month. This transformation for only $200 per month. Or this gorgeous job for just $300 per month. Material costs are rising, so call now and beat the price increases. And remember, we're not the pharmacy, we're CVS, the siding pros.
Well, we better have some pretty nice May flowers after all these April showers over the last couple of days. This is a loop showing 48 hours of radar data, and we've seen waves and waves of rain. Of course, a lot of this was pretty heavy early in the day yesterday and, of course, last evening with our heavy thunderstorms that pushed through. Thankfully, we missed out on a severe weather threat, though. We didn't have any damaging winds, large hail, or tornadoes in our part of the state. A couple of confirmed tornadoes, though, in extreme southern Ohio. Funnel clouds seen across I-70 last evening from Columbus over towards Cambridge and Zanesville. But around here, it's been the rain and just too much of it. Now, 50 years ago today, this was a generational tornado outbreak. April 3rd, 1974, from the Great Lakes states all the way down into the Deep South. Look at all these tornadoes, and specifically in Ohio, this tornado in Xenia. This is near Dayton in southwest Ohio. This was an F5, and this, along with our May 31st, 1985 tornado outbreak in our part of the state, the most infamous tornadoes, I should say, in modern Ohio history. Nothing all that interesting out there right now this evening. In fact, a little sunshine has peeked through the clouds over the last couple of hours here on our Briarfield Healthcare Center's weather camera along 422 in Niles. But of course, all the rivers and creeks and streams are running high. We still have flood warnings out for Eagle Creek and the Mahoning River around Leavittsburg and heading down towards Youngstown as well. Also flood warnings still out for the Ohio River, East Liverpool, over towards Wellsville. We're not going to add a lot to our rain totals, but yes, some showers are pushing back in, and showers will be around on occasion tonight and heading into the day tomorrow. It was a mild, stormy night last night. Tonight, a little bit cooler. We dropped down into the mid-30s. In fact, cool enough, a few snowflakes are going to try to mix in with those raindrops tomorrow morning, and just kind of a raw period for tomorrow into Friday with low pressure almost right overhead. A very unstable atmosphere tomorrow. So I'm not going to be surprised if we have a clap of thunder in a couple of spots tomorrow afternoon, maybe even a little soft hail or grapple coming out of these renegade showers tomorrow afternoon. And snowflakes could return tomorrow night into Friday morning. So it'll be a real struggle temperature-wise. 45, the best we can do tomorrow. I think Friday's even cooler. We'll be hard-pressed to get above 40 or 41. Friday afternoon, rain and snow showers coming and going to wrap up the week. And as we head into the weekend, the clouds will hang tough into Saturday, but some clearing then late Saturday will give way to lots of sunshine for Sunday. What about the eclipse on Monday? Well, here's the path of totality. And a little bit counterintuitively, the cloudiest spot along the path of totality is probably going to be Texas. And the farther north you go, the better odds are for favorable weather, including around here. I think there'll be a partly sunny sky. There'll be a few clouds in the sky, but right now it's not looking totally overcast at this point, and it should be a pretty mild day after we turn the corner temperature-wise over the weekend back into the middle and upper 50s on Sunday. I think Monday we'll see the 60s, and we might even flirt with 70 a couple of times next week. So we're going to maintain that small chance for a shower in our Monday forecast for the eclipse, but it's a small chance at this point. It certainly does not look like any sort of rainy day.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks,
yes,
Eric.
indeed. Thanks, Eric. Here's a check of more local news trending on the 21 News app tonight. A teenager is arrested in connection with the shooting of a man, stores, and cars in Sharon. A Northeast Ohio man remains in custody after appearing in a federal Youngstown courtroom for allegedly taking part in the January 6th insurrection. And the Powerball jackpot's up to $1.09 billion. You can watch the winning numbers tonight on 21 News at 11.
Next on 21 Sports, Youngstown State women's basketball coach Melissa Jackson breaks down the NCAA Women's Final Four.
You missed your favorite segment on WFMJ today? Catch up on the WFMJ app.
From inside Iran, from Israel, from Florida. Part of our continued reporting. It is safe. Everybody good? Women, children.
The Ozempic Challenge. The people who swear they can lose weight with the mixture of water, lime juice, and oats. But does it work? Watch the next Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7 on 21 WFMJ.
Groover, roofing, siding, windows, masonry, spouting, chimney with quality count.
Vitamin shots, supplements, and oxygen, all at the Youngstown Drip. Come drip with us.
Play Maximum Millions and $2 million Ultimate Cash from the Ohio Lottery, and you may never look at scratch-offs the same way again.
We're Hometown Fixer-Upper and we buy houses. That's not anything new, but what we do best is help people in tough real estate situations.
Search Hometown Fixer-Upper, Poland, Ohio, and check out our Google reviews. Then call us. We're here to help.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models. Or get a total of $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. We are professional grade GMC.
ASECU, member owned and operated and working for you for 65 years.
Locally owned, Brilliant Cleaning Service provides full-service commercial and residential cleaning solutions to meet your specific needs, serving the Tri-County area and Western PA. Call today for a free quote. Brilliant Cleaning Service, making your space brighter.
Is your backyard ready for fun in the sun? Now's the time to get to Burnett Pools for the pool, spa, hot tub, or sauna you've been wanting at the season's lowest prices. Get on our installation list now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months. Buy now, pay later at your summer fun headquarters. Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs.
Burnett Pools, we've got it all.
Turning 65 soon or joining Part B of Medicare due to retirement or disability? Call Glenn Morris at American Financial Services, a leading local provider of insurance for 30 years. Call 330-758-8102 for a free, no-obligation appointment.
Hi, everyone. The women's Final Four tips off in 48 hours at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, featuring 4 of the best teams in the country. So what better way to get the inside scoop on the tournament than with YSU women's coach Melissa Jackson?
You know, women's basketball is where it's at right now. And for Cleveland to host it, you know, especially this year more than ever, the teams that are going to be there, it's just going to be an unbelievable atmosphere.
The big story of the tournament and all season has been Caitlin Clark.
I think she's completely changed the landscape. You know, players like her were going to UConn and Tennessee, and she decided to stay home and go to Iowa, and look at what she's done to that program.
And that program has made the Hawkeyes, in the eyes of Jackson, the team to beat.
I think right now Iowa's got to be the team to beat. You know, even as good as South Carolina is right now, I think Caitlin Clark is so locked in right now.
And the coach sees an Iowa-South Carolina championship.
I'm going to go with Dawn Staley and South Carolina. As good as NC State is playing right now, Cardoza, you know, Bree Hall, you know, those players, Chloe Kitts, you know, I think South Carolina is going to be really difficult to beat.
No matter what happens on the courts, women's basketball has taken another step forward.
Women's basketball just in general, you know, right now, just unbelievable, you know, atmosphere to play in. You know, you see these regional games and their sellout crowds. Look at the ticket prices for women's basketball at the Final Four. It's almost double the men. And so it's just a really great time to be a part of the sport, and it's continuing to grow and grow.
To see those games in person, you're going to pay. According to a couple of resale websites, tickets for all three games are going for around $3,000 in the lower bowl and $1,500 in the upper bowl. If you just won Friday semifinals, lower bowls tickets range from $6,000 to $500 in the upper deck. Undefeated South Carolina plays North Carolina State in Friday's opener, followed by Iowa and UConn. The championship game is Sunday. The Guardians and Progressive Insurance have a new 13-year deal for Progressive Field to remain the official name of the stadium. The new agreement solidifies a 29-year commitment by the two entities. The new agreement would automatically extend at the end of the term through the 2041 season, should the ballpark lease be extended through that period. As part of the extension, new Progressive signage will be incorporated around the ballpark. For this season, a significant focus will be adding new signage at the home plate entrance at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. And I just checked those ticket prices for the women's Final Four. They have gone up considerably now that the Final Four is just 48 hours away.
Wow. Who's paying that kind of money? I mean, somebody's got it, right? I mean, it's going to be a lot of people that are watching.
It'll be pretty cool. Support for the women.
For sure, absolutely. For more local news, weather, sports, and any breaking news, you can always download our 21 News app.
NBC Nightly News is up next. Have a great night.